Good morning students. Once again I welcome you all in this science class of grade 7 and students, in our previous video, we have discussed the introduction of this chapter, fiber to fabric. We have discussed the mind map, that what are all topics we are going to discuss in this chapter, and today we will start with the first topic, that is how we get the wool from the animals. Okay, that is the sheep and other animals. So, just an intro of wool. In this video, we will be discussing all about wool, how the processing of wool is done. Okay, it is obtained from the fleece of sheep, goat, camel, yak. You must have read the chapter. So, from all these animals, we get the wool. Now, these animals, how we get the wool? Why not from other animals? The reason behind this is these animals have a thick coat of hair on their bodies because the hair traps air and air is a poor conductor of heat. So mainly these animals, if you see, they are all mountainous, right? They are found in colder regions. That's why they have thick coat of hair, and that's why that thick coat of hair is useful for us. So that is the reason why we get the wool from these only, not from others. So this thick layer, this hair, they keeps their body warm and it protects them from the cold. That is the reason why they have the thick hair, and that thick hair is useful for us. Now for obtaining wool, these animals are reared. Reared means we are completely taking care of these animals. Okay, so these animals are reared and then their hair is cut and then processed into wool. Like for silk, we do the rearing of silkworm, that is sericulture. So for getting the wool, we do rearing of these animals, right? Now animal wool. Many breeds of sheep are there in India. You must have seen the most common animal from where we get wool is sheep, right? It gives us milk also, it gives us meat also, and in addition to wool, right? So meat, milk, wool, all these things, so beneficial the sheep is for us, right? And the most common wool is sheep wool only. Rest, these rabbits and goats, these all are also fine, but the most common one is this sheep wool, right? Angora wool, it is obtained from Angora goats of Jammu. Kashmir is also soft wool and it is used for making shawls. Now, Angora goats, they are found in hilly regions such as Jammu and Kashmir. So that's why these Pashmina shawls we get from there only, right? Pashmina wool, it is obtained from Pashmina goats. Now, alpaca, llama, they are found in South America. They also gives us wool, but it will be expensive because we are getting it from abroad. Camel hair is also used as wool, but out of all these, the most common wool is sheep wool. Very easily we are getting the wool from the sheep. Now, how this rearing and breeding of sheep is done. So step by step we will discuss this. They are reared in many parts of our country like Jammu Kashmir, Himachal, Uttaranchal, Sikkim, Arunachal, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat, many states. And they feed on grass and leaves, very common food they are having. So easily anyone can do the rearing of sheep, right? They are also fed with mixture of pulses, means they are herbivorous completely, right? Now in winter, the sheep are kept indoors and they fed on leaves, grain and dry things, dry fodder. Some breeds of sheep, they have thick hair on their body which yield good quality wool in large quantities, while there are some which are not having so thick hair, so the lower quality wool we obtain from them. That's why in market when you see students, you have different varieties of wool. One is the high quality, one is the low quality, right? The thick and thin. Now that thing depends on the hair of sheep, right? Now the processing. How the processing of the wool is done, right? The processing of changing fleece into wool. What is fleece? The hair on the body of sheep, right? So now we have 6 steps in that: shearing, scouring, sorting, burr separation, dyeing and spinning. Ultimately we get the wool. So step by step we'll discuss all these. The first step is shearing. Now what happens in shearing is that fleece, that is the hair of the sheep, it is removed from its body along with a thin layer of dead skin. The sheep are not at all got hurted in this process, right? So simply their hair are removed with a dead skin dead layer of skin by using the machines. I'll show you the machines also in a slide. This process of removal of fleas from the animal is called shearing. Now it can come as one mark question. What do you mean by shearing? So the answer is this. The removal of fleas from the animal is shearing. Now the next step, if you remember, just now I told you the second step of processing is scoring. Yes. Now the sheared skin with hair, it is washed in tanks. Why washed? Because sheep are roaming all around, so it must be dirty, the hair. Even after 3-4 days, our hair becomes dirty, even if we keep inside. But if we roam around, what happens? Just in 1 or 2 days, our hair becomes so dirty, right? So same in case of sheep, they are not 1 or 2 days, but for many days they keep on roaming all around. So the first thing after taking the hair is they have to clean them, wash them. So that is scoring. The sheared skin with hair, it is washed in tanks to remove grease, dust, dirt, everything. Now this process of washing the sheared wool in hot water followed by drying is called scoring. Got it, students? Shearing and scoring, the first and second process in processing of wool. Shearing, taking out the layer of hair with the dead skin, and scoring, cleaning and drying of the wool hair. Next step is this hairy skin is sent to a factory where hairs of different textures are separated. Because while taking the hair, if I ask you to take the hair of 10-15 students, you will not keep them separately, right? You will mix all the hair. Now after mixing all the hair of the sheep or after mixing all the hair of the student, then you need to see some hair are thick, the texture of hair, right? Some have thick hair, some have thin hair, some have silky hair, some have rough hair, right? So now the next step is to categorize them according to the different textures. They are separated. That is the third step, sorting. The process of separating hair of different textures from the fleece is called sorting, right? Now the fourth step is burst separation. The small fluffy fibers called the bursts, they are separated from the hairs and again washed and dried. Small fibers means like it happens in our hair also, no? We do this combing. So the same bursts are there in those hair also, they are removed and then again it is washed and dried. Fifth step is drying, that is the natural hair of sheep. It is white, brown, black. So if we want different colors of the wool, we need to dye them in different colors. So in next step we do the dyeing of these fibers. The raw fibers, they are dyed in different colors. Like we do coloring of our hair, same way we do coloring of sheep's hair because we want different colors of wool. The last step is spinning. These raw fibers, they are then straightened. Okay, they are straightened by using machines and then they are combed and then they are rolled up into yarns and then they are spun and woven into fabrics. Got it? Very easy process. Some few steps were there: shearing, scoring, sorting, burst separation, dyeing and spinning. Very simple procedure and very step-by-step things that you can keep in your mind. This was all regarding processing of wool. Now this is the picture showing how they are the instruments and how they are cutting the wool from the sheep. See students. Okay. Now we have some uses of wool. And yes, one more thing is there, that is health hazards. So uses of wool, you know very well, I need not to tell even. It is used for making warm clothes such as sweater, cap, shawl, gloves, blanket, many things which are used in winters. It is also used in making carpets and upholstery, right? So these are the uses of wool. It's very useful for us, right? Now the last thing, that is the health hazards. For those people who are working in the factories of wool, mainly students, the problem is in respiratory tract because the small threads which keep on suspended in air, when we inhale them, they cause problem in our respiratory tract. So now these problems, these include headache, fever, back pain, these are also there, plus the respiratory problems as well as skin infections. Okay, so these are all the health hazards which are associated with this wool industry. So that's all with wool's topic. In our next class, we'll be discussing about the sericulture, that is how we obtain silk from the silkworm, as well as the health hazards associated with the silk industry. I hope this processing of wool is all clear to you, and keep updating, keep reading the chapter. Anything which comes as doubt, just tell me and I'll clear it in the next session. Okay students? And with this, keep updating your work also. Means keep doing your work. Whichever work I am giving you, keep doing it. Okay? Don't collect it for the last moment. Right? So, till the next time, keep updating your knowledge, keep reading science. Thank you and have a great day.